Hi there, I want to talk to you about Dipper's jumping up and down next to me. Anyway, I want to talk to you about the possibility of making dogs be safe around sheep, particularly dogs who've previously chased or killed sheep. Because I know this is something that gets asked of dog trainers a lot. Can your training resolve this problem? And dog trainers are very divided on this issue. So my take is, what we call pre-drive, we talk about it as though it's an inherent thing within the dogs that cannot be changed, and that's not true. It would be better thought of as a sequence of individual predatory behaviours. And the thing is, with the sequence, it's actually can change quite a lot over the course of a dog's lifetime. Of course it can. Imagine if you were a wild animal who had to catch other animals to eat and stay alive. If as soon as you clapped eyes on an animal, you charged straight at it, screaming your head off, you wouldn't live very long. You just wouldn't, because they would run away. So wild predators learn to modify their responses to prey to make them quieter and more careful until they get good, and that's how they stay alive. So the behaviour is very, very subject to modification. The desire probably stays there for the length of the animal's life, but what they do as a result of that desire will change over the course of the dog's life, and it can do. So what that means is that I wouldn't really offer anybody a guarantee about any sort of animal. So I have known dogs where they never had any interest in prey, ever. And something happened. Sometimes when the dogs are 6 or 7 years old, something happened and they killed a prey animal out of the blue. And what has typically happened is there was something unusual, some unusual circumstance that they've never really experienced before that alters things for them. Turns what previously was quite a benign situation into a situation that's very dangerous for the other animal. And I have, in the years and years I've been working in this area, I have heard these stories over and over again. And so if it's somebody else's livelihood, if it's a sheep, if it's not my sheep and it's not my dog, I would be reasonably confident. If it was my sheep and it was my dog, I could absolutely resolve the behaviour. Yes, absolutely. But if they're not my sheep, I don't want to run the risk with somebody else's livelihood that I think my dog is completely obedient around sheep, and then one day something different happens. I don't know, one of the sheep is injured and moves differently. The sheep are all lying down in a field. The sheep are in a different part of the field than normal, and when they see the dog they start to run, whereas normally the dog's experience has been that the sheep are a bit further away and they just ignore the dog. All of those things can trigger a dog who has previously been thought to be fine with sheep into suddenly not being fine with sheep. So my take is that because the behaviour is so open to learning and so able to be modified, that's why you can train dogs with a high prey drive pretty easily, because the behaviour can be modified and it's often not that difficult. Because of that, I equally wouldn't run the risk with other people's livelihoods. So if I'm walking somewhere and I think there might be sheep around, I just put my dog on a lead or a long line, so that there's no chance that we can encounter a situation where my dog goes, "What's that? Never seen that before," and then starts chasing. So that's my take on it. And I also obviously, as a result of my take on it, do spend quite a lot of time teaching my dogs to walk safely on leads and long lines, so that they are not putting me at risk if I'm walking them somewhere where there might be sheep and they might pull me over and hurt me. So I do spend a lot of time on that. So that's where I focus my time, because I know how much the behaviour can be modified, and I know how quickly it can happen in some circumstances, because I've seen it. I've heard various people's tales of woe so I've experienced it myself, and so for that reason I am super careful with livestock like sheep that are particularly vulnerable. They've got no defences against dogs really, so I'm very, very careful with livestock like that that's very vulnerable. Anyway, I thought you'd be interested to hear. Do let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.